How much can someone sue for in a car accident? In New York, if you've been injured in a car accident, the law does not limit the amount you can claim for damages. This means you have the potential to recover full compensation for your medical expenses, lost earnings, property damage, and more subjective losses such as pain and suffering. What constitutes a car accident lawsuit? A car accident lawsuit in New York is typically initiated when a person, the plaintiff, claims to have suffered harm due to the actions of a driver, the defendant. The harm can be physical, financial, or both. To constitute a lawsuit, the plaintiff must assert that the defendant was negligent and that this negligence directly caused the accident and the resultant damages. This is distinct from merely filing an insurance claim, which may be resolved without going to court. Key legal terms explained: liability, negligence, and damages. Liability refers to the legal responsibility one party has to another in an accident. In New York, which follows a comparative negligence rule, liability may be shared among parties based on their percentage of fault. Negligence implies a failure to behave with the level of care that someone of ordinary prudence would have exercised under the same circumstances. Examples include speeding, distracted driving, or violating traffic laws. Damages in legal terms refer to the compensation sought by the plaintiff for losses suffered due to the accident. These can include medical expenses, lost wages, pain and suffering, and more. The role of state laws in car accident claims. As a no-fault state, New York requires that all drivers carry personal injury protection (PIP) insurance, which covers medical bills, lost earnings, and other incidental costs irrespective of who was at fault in the accident. However, if the injuries sustained meet certain severity thresholds defined under New York law, like significant disfigurement, bone fractures, or permanent limitation of use of body organs or members, the injured party may pursue additional compensation through a lawsuit against the at-fault driver. Moreover, the statute of limitations for filing a car accident lawsuit in New York is generally 3 years from the date of the accident. How much can someone sue for in a car accident? Here's a closer look at the types of damages typically sought in car accident cases and how they are evaluated. Economic damages. Economic damages are intended to compensate the injured party for direct financial losses resulting from the accident. 1. Medical expenses. Compensation can cover past, current, and estimated future medical costs associated with injuries from the accident. 2. Lost wages. This includes wages lost during the recovery period and, in cases of severe injury, potential future earnings that the individual will be unable to earn due to their injury. 3. Property damage. This covers the cost of repairing or replacing the vehicle and any other personal property damaged in the accident, such as mobile phones, laptops, or other items in the vehicle at the time of the accident. Non-economic damages. Non-economic damages compensate for intangible losses, which are subjective and not directly quantifiable in monetary terms. Pain and suffering. This includes compensation for the physical pain and emotional distress suffered as a result of the accident. 2. Loss of enjoyment of life. If the injuries prevent the individual from engaging in hobbies, exercise, and other life pleasures they once enjoyed, compensation can be sought for these losses. 3. Loss of consortium. In severe cases, the spouse of the injured party can claim loss of consortium, which refers to the deprivation of the benefits of a family relationship due to injuries. Punitive damages. Punitive damages are not awarded in every car accident case and are relatively rare in New York. They are not intended to compensate the plaintiff but rather to punish the defendant for particularly reckless or malicious behavior and to serve as a deterrent to others. In New York, the presence of punitive damages is contingent upon a showing that the defendant acted with intentional or wanton disregard of the rights of others. Factors influencing compensation in car accident lawsuits. Severity of injuries and long-term impact. More severe injuries typically result in higher medical costs, longer recovery times, and greater incidental expenses, all of which contribute to increased economic damages. Additionally, severe injuries can lead to substantial non-economic damages due to increased pain and suffering and long-term emotional distress. Fault and comparative negligence. New York follows a comparative negligence rule, which means that the compensation a plaintiff receives can be reduced by a percentage that equals their share of fault in causing the accident. For instance, if it is determined that a plaintiff was 30% responsible for the accident and the total damages amount to $100,000, the plaintiff's compensation would be reduced by 30%, resulting in a payout of $70,000. Impact of pre-existing conditions. In New York, if a defendant can prove that a plaintiff's injuries were not caused by the accident but rather were pre-existing, this can greatly reduce the amount of compensation the plaintiff receives. However, under the eggshell skull doctrine, defendants must take plaintiffs as they find them, meaning if the accident exacerbates a pre-existing condition, the defendant is still liable for the enhanced injuries. How to calculate potential settlements in car accident cases. Tools and methods for estimating economic damages. 1. Medical bills. Total medical expenses are calculated by compiling all bills related to the accident, from immediate emergency care to ongoing rehabilitation costs. 2. Lost wages. Lost wages are calculated based on the plaintiff's salary or wages and the amount of work missed, including future lost earnings if the plaintiff has suffered a long-term disability that affects their ability to work. 3. Future medical care and earnings. For long-term injuries, calculations often require actuarial or economic experts who project the costs and losses over a lifetime, factoring in inflation and changes in earning capacity. 4. Property damage. This is assessed based on repair bills or the replacement value of damaged property, typically straightforward unless there is dispute over the condition or value of the property at the time of the accident. Assessing non-economic damages. Non-economic damages, such as pain and suffering, emotional distress, and loss of enjoyment of life, are inherently subjective and do not have a direct financial value. Calculating these requires different approaches. Multiplier method. One common method involves multiplying the total economic damages by a factor, usually between 1.5 and 5, based on the severity and permanence of the injuries. Per diem method. This approach assigns a daily rate to the pain and suffering experienced and multiplies this rate by the number of days the victim is expected to endure the pain or disability. 3. Qualitative assessments. Testimonies from family, friends, and mental health professionals can also help quantify the extent of emotional and psychological distress. The role of legal professionals in valuing a claim. 1. Gathering and presenting evidence. Attorneys help collect comprehensive documentation and evidence to support the claim, including medical records, expert testimonies, and personal accounts. 2. Negotiating with insurance companies. Experienced lawyers are adept at negotiating with insurers who often aim to minimize payouts. 3. Legal strategy. Lawyers can advise on the legal ramifications of accepting a settlement versus going to trial, considering the strengths and weaknesses of the case. Expert testimonies. In complex cases, attorneys might engage economic, medical, or vocational experts to substantiate the claims about economic losses and future needs. Professional representation and quality legal assistance from Kucher Law Group. Understanding the potential compensation for damages in a car accident lawsuit in New York is crucial to ensuring you are fully recompensed for your losses. The Kucher Law Group, with its deep understanding of Brooklyn's legal landscape, is ready to assist you in evaluating your case, calculating potential compensation, and providing strong representation in court or settlement negotiations. Take action today. If you've been injured in a car accident, securing knowledgeable legal representation can significantly impact the outcome of your case. Contact the Kucher Law Group at 929-563-6780 to discuss your situation. Our dedicated team is here to guide you through each step of your legal journey, aiming to achieve the compensation you rightfully deserve. Don't wait to start your path to recovery. Reach out to us now for a consultation.